Good morning and happy Tuesday. Happy first Tuesday in March. We are in the third month of the year. Today, you're just flying by like it always does. But anyway, good morning and happy Tuesday. My name is Juanita Williams, and this is today's Tuesday Truths. So, I am a purpose conduit. I am the link to life beyond pain and the channel to discovering purpose. My name again is Juanita Williams, and thank you all for supporting me, those who will watch now, those who will watch later. I genuinely thank you for your support, and I pray always that whatever is said, it helps you and that you share it so that it can help someone else. So today we're going to start with a song because this is the way the Lord has led me, and then we're going to be really transparent today, like I usually am every week, and just tell you some of the things that I struggle with and that I'm going to get help with. So, in my time with the Lord this morning, I was reading Psalms 42 and 2, and that was the whole chapter is talking about David's struggle um, within himself. He's struggling, yet encouraging himself. And the song that came to me was As the Deer Panted. I'm not even sure if that's the name of the song, but I'm going to sing just a little verse of it and then we're going to get into this. So, as the deer panted for the water, so my soul longeth after thee. You alone are my heart's desire, and I long to worship thee. You alone are my strength, my shield. To you alone does my spirit yield. You alone are my heart's desire, and I long to worship thee. Thank you, Father. So let's get into it. Today, we're going to be talking about control. That's some of the things that, one of the things that I struggle with is trying to control everything. And I know a little bit more of why I do that. And it's very enlightening, but it's also like, what the heck? Why am I trying to control everything? And it's not even really an outward control that anybody would be able to detect. I just know that it's me struggling with trying to control everybody. Good morning, sis. Thank you for joining. Um, so I found a article online yesterday talking about control, and it's actually um, therapy for control issues. And it was written. It's on. You can find it on the goodtherapy.org site. So I'm just gonna go through this article because it show spoke to me, and I was like, yep, that's some of the things I've been dealing with. Yep. So here we go. Control is exerting influence over one's environment or the actions or behaviors of another person. And it's sometimes used excessively by those who fear the unpredictable and ambiguous, and they feel they need to prove themselves or fear of losing control. An incessant need for control may become overwhelming and exhausting, wreaking havoc on relationships, careers, and overall quality of life. Control is typically a reaction to the fear of losing control. People who struggle with the need to be in control often fear being at the mercy of others, and this fear may stem from traumatic events that left them feeling helpless and vulnerable. Yep, definitely me. As a result, this, as a result, they may, let me slow down. As a result, they may crave control in disproportionate and unhealthy ways. The experience of abuse or neglect, for example, can make people look for ways to regain control of their lives. Definitely me. And sometimes victims lash out at other people in their lives because we want control, because we didn't have control, because of the abuse or whatever else happened to your life. So we are trying to control every situation that we're in, even control ourselves and control our emotions. We're trying, but sometimes that just does not work. The need for control drives people to turn to the external world in order to find things they can control. They may be compelled to micromanage and orchestrate the actions and behaviors of others, or maintain, wow, rigid rules regarding routine, diet, or cleanliness and order. For instance, people who are physically or psychologically abusive inflict pain on loved ones in the form of ridicule, isolation, restrictions, or physical or sexual assault because they themselves are in pain, though this pain is often deeply buried and unacknowledged. Can I raise my hand and say yes? I definitely tried to control the people in my environment, my kids especially, and it really wasn't an outward control. I just wanted them to be good kids and not be chaotic and not cause disturbance. I wanted them to keep the peace all the time because I don't do well in chaos. I don't like chaos. I like peace. But I didn't realize until just last week that, yeah, Juanita, you're trying to control your kids. You can't control your kids. They have their own personality. So of course you can discipline in them. You want them to be great kids, and my kids are great, and they don't act out like that. And they didn't when they were kids either. They were good kids. However, I wanted them to be like perfect little kids that didn't get in trouble, that didn't cause any kind of havoc or wreak any kind of chaos anywhere. Essentially, I was trying to make them be robots, and they're human beings. So that definitely could not happen. So let me continue reading. Some control may be related to traumatic or abusive life experiences, a lack of trust, anxiety, fears of abandonment, low or damaged self-esteem, a person's beliefs, values, or faith, perfectionism, the fear of failure, definitely on my street there, emotional sensitivity, and the fear of experiencing painful emotions. Definitely all of that. Some symptoms and types of control issues. So there are a myriad of ways in which people might attempt to control their environment, themselves or others. People exert power over others in intimate relationships, workplace settings, families, and other social groups. I just told you I tried to control my kids very subtly, but I did try to control them. Examples of exerting control over others are micromanagement, keeping a person from seeing or talking to loved ones or friends, gaslighting. I had to look that up because I was like, what is gaslighting? Essentially, I think what it says was trying to make somebody not be who they really are or not be in the reality of who they are. I would have to look it up again. Dishonesty, overprotective or helicopter. I said helicopter parenting. And yeah, I wasn't exactly like what the definition said. I didn't try to control every aspect of their lives, but I still wanted them to be perfect little children. And, hey, so essentially didn't want them to be themselves. I wanted them to be little Stepford kids who didn't cause any trouble. But my kids have their own personality. So, and like I said, they were good kids, but um, they come from a I will say, humble and peaceful bloodline. So my kids don't wreak chaos anyway. So some of them, one of them, maybe both of them, they deal with anger in a different way. I'll just put it like that. But so do I. So I will allow things to pile up on me. Let's put it like that. You know, people are, or whatever, situations or wherever. I will allow it, take it. And then when I've gotten to the point where I can't take it no more, then I explode. And then it's as if nothing ever happened. That's not good. So if things are bothering you or happening to you, then you need to address it when it's happening. And don't just let it build up until you get to the point where you explode. That's not good. It's not healthy. Um, and you don't want to be hurting people. So handle it while it's happening. Sometimes you might just need to walk away, count to 10, and then come back or whatever. However you need to handle it, you need to handle it. But don't not handle it. I'll put it like that. Don't just let things just build up until you explode, and then either you get hurt or somebody else gets hurt. Another example of exerting control over others is physical, sexual, or emotional abuse, bullying, or taunting. Definitely have that in my life. All of that. Examples of controlling self or environment is compulsive exercising, disordered eating, self harm, substance abuse, compulsive arranging, tidying, or cleaning. The self harm, definitely with me, because I definitely was about to take myself out and I wasn't going to be here. Thank God for the Holy Spirit. Someone who struggles with a need for control may experience shame, anxiety, stress, depression, and a host of other mental health concerns. I definitely dealt with depression. Excuse me. So, how can psychotherapy help? Addressing control issues in therapy involves unraveling the source of the need for control. The client and therapist work together to address the underlying fear, excuse me, emotion, or anxiety, and they develop coping strategies. This process of increasing self awareness can help a person begin relinquishing the need for self control, or for control, I'm sorry, the need for control. Therapy can help a person identify the self protective, because that's what it is, self protective nature of the need for control. Perhaps the person's parents were absent or emotionally unavailable in childhood. My street. Or maybe his or her childhood home was not a place of stability. My street. Emotional or physical instability and lack of choices or autonomy can lead a person to seek control over other aspects of their life. My street. Recognizing and addressing this source of distress will help the person cultivate self compassion and embrace that part of the self that needs protection. So, John 16 and 33, and I'm reading from the English Standard Version. It says, I have said these things to you, that in me you may have peace. In the world you will have tribulation, but take heart. I have overcome the world. And Matthew 6:34 in the English Standard Version says, therefore, do not become anxious about tomorrow, for tomorrow will be anxious for itself. Sufficient for the day is its own trouble. Because sometimes we worry about the future. Sometimes we try to make the future happen, but we don't know the next steps. So today, if you're alive today, today is the only day that's promised. And we don't even know if the full day is promised. So don't worry about tomorrow. Don't worry about your future. Take care of today. For me, trying to figure out next steps what God has for me in the future, oh gosh, it has not been good because it really has caused me to try to figure out what the next step is. If something, say if God gives me a resource because He is the source, I'd be like, oh, so that's how this is going to come to fruition. No, I don't know. He's allowed me to have that resource for that reason, for whatever that reason is for that time. It doesn't mean that it's for the future. Sometimes it does, but um, who am I to try to figure out? The best thing I can do for myself is trust God. Trust every step that He is allowing me to take. Trust. Trust is a big issue when you've been abused. It is a very big issue because you don't trust nobody, not even God. You say in your heart, oh God, I trust you. But no, not really. We really don't. We trust Him with some stuff, but not with everything. I remember back in the day, I was having some issues in my marriage, and I'll just say this: I had to trust my husband again, and then I said to God, I was like, well, if I don't trust my husband, if I don't trust what you're doing in our marriage, or some kind of way I put it, I can't remember. I was like, does that mean that I don't trust you? If I don't trust him, and he's your child, does that mean that I don't trust you? I can't even remember exactly the conversation that I had with God, but it did. I did ask him that question. Well, does it mean that I don't trust you? I ain't wait for the answer because I already knew the answer. I didn't trust him. I still have trust issues today, but we are working on that. We are working on that, and I'm casting my cares at his feet. He already knows. So, in our conversation this morning, um, what came to me in my spirit was, and then it came to me before, I just never wrote it down, but I did write it down this time, that the flesh and the spirit are fighting for the soul. So that's part of our internal struggle. The flesh wants to lead, but the soul, the spirit needs to lead. The flesh wants to lead, but the spirit needs to lead. Following the flesh ain't gonna do nothing but get you in trouble. We need to allow our spirit to lead us. We need to allow our spirit to guide us because our spirit is our connection to God. So, I said all that to say this. Therapy.com, bam, I am definitely going to seek a therapist. And hey, niece, love you, niece. I'm just about done. You can catch the replay. But I'm definitely going to seek therapy so we can take care of these control issues that I've been dealing with all of my life. And I really didn't realize how deep it was until now. So I was at Starbucks on Saturday to get me that lemon pound cake Trinity that you told me about. It was fire. And I wanted to get a cup of coffee. And I don't even drink coffee like that. But me and my husband went in, got made the order. He got his coffee, and I got my pound cake. But it took like 15 to 20 minutes for me to get the coffee that I ordered. I was like, what the heck? Long story short, I was trying to control that issue in my mind. I was like, all right, she's making that drink, so I'm next after that. And then a lady came in and stood in front of me. Actually, she didn't really stand in front of me. She just came and stood in an open spot. And I was thinking in my head, I was like, no, she didn't. Just come and stand in front of me, but you ain't getting your stuff before I do. Guess what? She got her stuff before I did. Long story short, I don't know what was going on with Starbucks that day, but everybody was pissed off that day that was in there. There was one lady that told one of the girls that she was going to call corporate on them. She had been sitting there. She was sitting there when we came in. She got her pastry or whatever, but she never got her drinks. So finally, they made her drinks, but she was talking to, I don't know if it was the manager or whoever. When she left, after she got her other drink, she was like, I'm going to call corporate. I was like, oh, Lord. So when I finally got my drink, I was like, ooh, yeah, we ain't taking it that far. But yeah, thanks. The young lady was like, sorry for the wait. I wanted to say something else, but I was like, thank you. That's all I really could say was thank you. And I realized in that moment, I was like, Juanita, yeah, you can't control what's going on in other people's life. I even up with a plan for them. Like the person that's taking orders at the windows, y'all make that drink. The person that's taking the mobiles, y'all orders, y'all take those drink. And the person that's taking the in store orders, y'all make that drink. Now, listen, that was my plan for them. However, I don't think they have enough space to do all of that. But it was a plan that I came up with. Anyway, I said all that to say therapy.com for me because I'm definitely going to reach out and see if I can get some help with why I think I need to control everything. Everything. Not externally all the time, but it's very subtle. And I thank God for revealing that to me. It's very subtle. I try to control everything in this household. I want everything to be neat and nice and everything, even in my life. Even with down to a hairstyle. I remember telling my husband years ago that I wanted it was a short pixie cut. However, I wanted it to be a controlled mess. That's an oxymoron. How is it going to be a mess and then be controlled? Yeah, no. So, even me saying it now, I'm just like, wow, Juanita, that doesn't even make any sense. But anyway, therapy.com. So thank you all for tuning in to Tuesday Truths today and joining me and allowing me to be transparent before you because that's what we need to do. We need to stop hiding and making people think that all is well in my life. Meanwhile, you're falling apart. You're trying to play the part in front of people, but you're really falling apart on the inside. So I'm going to be quiet now because I'm like 20 minutes in, a little bit over 20 minutes in, and people have lives and they have work to do. So, or if you're retired, you have some other stuff that you might want to do. So anyway, thank you for joining me today on Tuesday Truths. And for those of you that joined late, go back and watch the replay. There's a little treat for you at the beginning. So thank you again for joining me. Thank you for your support. And my name is Juanita Williams. I'm a purpose conduit. I am the link to life beyond pain and the channel to discovering purpose. I live to give women their voice back. That is my mission, to give you your voice back and to end silent suffering. If you want to know more about me, you can go to my IG page or you can go to my Facebook page or you can just hit me up at juanitarwilliams@gmail.com and we can have a conversation. So until next week, God willing, have a fantabulous day and an awesome-tastic week. I will see you all later. Bye-bye.